working. And that will take a lot of time, energy, and also money. So what are the other alternate ways to achieve the same success? And that is very key. And that is your spiritual actions. So if you do the power of visualization and just sit down quietly and just employ all your six senses and see your business expanding outside. And you know what happened? I was traveling from Dubai to London 2.5 years ago, and my flight got cancelled, or let's say overbooked by Emirates. So the Emirates, they upgraded my flight from business class to first class because the business class was full. Now what happened? That I met an official from United Nations in the flight. So I started talking on the bar, and to cut the long story short, we we have just got a massive order from United Nations. Okay, just out of that cancellation. So think about that. You visualize. I visualize that. I then meditated on this. Rather than spending too much money in advertisement and making calls and efforts, my flight was overbooked. I meet somebody very interesting and powerful. We connect, and then my dream came true. Now, it is not sheer coincidence. I can give you many such examples in my life, and it is not a secret. It is, you can do it. Anybody can do it. Okay, so I will share with you some of those secrets. You know, how you can train your brain to basically transmit your thought and manifest those thoughts. To achieve that success. Now, this cloud you see on the screen, this is our mind. Now, there is, please don't get confused, mind and brain. Mind is a cloud around our head, our brain, and the brain is the physical being which you can feel. Mind is something which is an energy cloud which you cannot see from naked eye. So we'll talk about brain and mind. So this is our brain. Now, the box below, this is again something which you might say, well, it's not scientifically proven that we have karmic energy. Yes, we have studied in our religious books and our belief system, but I will tell you that this is very scientific. The notion of soul, you know, the soul, the energy we carry. Okay, now that energy has got a karmic memory stored in this energy. So whatever good karma, bad karma we have done in our lives, that is definitely stored there. And that actually determines your fate and destiny and the power of nature. Right? We say, where is the God? Does the God exist? What is the scientific evidence of God? Now, there have been some scientific discoveries where, you know, a astrophysicist did this experiment. He created a simulation, computer simulation of our solar system, and he tried to reduce the size of Earth by just 5 meters in the diameter, or increase the size of the moon by 5 meters. Whatever he did, that simulation model proved that within less than 3 months, 90% of the world population will finish because of the weather changes resulted by such manipulation. So he tried playing with Jupiter, the Mars, the Venus, and so on. And then he concluded that somebody has very precisely calculated the size, the density, the gravitational force, and the distances between the stars so accurately that there is no room even for 10 meters to change. And if you do that, the whole equilibrium will finish. Now, what is that power? That is the power of God, the power of nature, right? And scientifically, the power of nature is your magnetic power, which is you know the Earth magnet, and each planet has got their own magnet, and the gravitational force number two, and the radiation. These are the three powers combined are the power of God and energy, and that if we can tap into that immense power, we can actually start manifesting our thoughts. Okay, so I'll talk about that again. The example I shared with you, I will share a few other examples. So what happens here? Our mind, which is a cloud of thoughts, sends instruction to our brain to do some effort to achieve the success and happiness. And guess what? This stored karmic energy and the power of God and what you call it fate. Fate is nothing but your karmic energy balance. Okay, so uh, that actually guides your effort either to the positive outcome, success, or towards the negative outcome, failure. So as we said, that our mind, our thoughts, actually affects our effort, or the outcome of effort. Uh, uh, okay, so if you have a drone in your hand, having two remote controls, okay? So let's say you've got a drone flying above your head, and you have got one remote control, and your friend has got one remote control. You want to move towards right, and your friend wants to move the drone towards left. Conflicting signals. Similarly, you might want to fly higher, and your friend might want to fly lower. So what happens when you get two conflicting signals to the drone? The drone will either fall or will not go to left or will not go to right. It will remain where it is. Now, this is exactly what happens with our brain. So, for example, let's say uh, you are going for a job, okay? So what happens? Let's say you went for a job, and you have attended two interviews already, and one result is still awaited, and one you have got rejection. So let's say you have been rejected by Goldman Sachs, right? So now you're going for JP Morgan, okay, for the interview. So what happens here? You want to get this job with JP Morgan, but you have got this recent event of rejection. So what happens? Your mind is now sending two conflicting thoughts two conflicting signals to your, let's say, your brain. Like I gave you example of the drone. One signal is saying, I want to go for it, I want to apply for the job. But the second signal, which is sent to the brain, is saying, well, you know what? I don't think I'll get it because I've been rejected already. Maybe I'm not that qualified. Maybe, there are too many clever people applying for the job. That is the main problem. In this world, why 98% people are unhappy? Simply because they have not understood what their success criteria is. What do they think about their success and happiness? What are their happiness buttons? We'll talk about that in the next in few minutes time. Then even if they have understood the criteria of success, they have got anxiety, they have got doubts, they have got negative thoughts, opposite signal to the brain. And as a result, our efforts are guided by our brain, the physical brain, whether it is our senses or writing the CV or going for the interview and cracking the interview, cracking the written test. Ultimately, the brain is instructing our five senses to make that effort. So if your brain is not getting singular signal like I want the job and I'm going for it and nobody can stop me, then my friend, the same thing is happening. Like I said, the drone example, you're pulling left or right, it's not going anywhere, or maybe it will drop. That is what happens with many of the people in this world. Okay, so here comes the failure. Now, failure could be because of our negative thoughts, because of the karmic energy trying to stop, right? Negative thoughts work like a handbrake. So if you're driving a car from A to B, right, and you've got set navigation and everything, and you start driving, but your handbrake, i.e., your negative thoughts are engaged, then the car will not start or will not move as fast as it should be to reach the destination. So the failure could be because of your negative thoughts, anxiety, applying your brake on the success. It could be your karmic energies working against your efforts. So you may have seen in life that some people are born in a very rich families, like Prince in England. So the prince is born in the royal family. They don't have to do too many efforts, and yet they live what we see probably the happy life. And you wonder why. I'm slogging, I'm working hard, I'm in the university, I've done a lot of efforts to get into Cambridge, and I'm slogging, and here is this young kid enjoying the life without much of the effort. And that is because of that stored karmic energy I'm talking about. And this is again scientific, which if time permits, I'll cover that. And it is basically the way Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, proved his gravitational theory and came up with all kind of the physics formula. Exactly the same philosophy applies to prove these karmic energies and the soul. Uh, right. So what happens when we have uh, we achieve a success? It basically adds to our happiness. We feel very happy. Hey, we did it. Yeah. Now that feeling of happiness, which is generated from success, eventually is fed back in your system to increase your success even further. So, happiness is ingredient to success. All right. Which one comes first? Is it the chicken or egg situation? The happiness is causing the success, or success is causing the happiness. Now, my experience is that happiness generates success. So happiness is the
Manoj
chicken.
Agrawal is there at London, Oxford University has,
Sorry. So the happiness is the chicken and success is the egg, in my view and my experience. Because without happiness, I do not believe that you can achieve success. It's a human psychology, right? You want to deal with people, you want to be close to to happy people. If you're miserable and sad, the weather is rubbish today, and I missed my lecture, and I got very bad marks in my exams. You're whinging all the time. Guess what? Your friends will find excuses not to be around you, right? That's the human that psychology, that we are attracted to positive, happy human being. Okay, so regardless of the situation or situation, we need to be happy. All right, and we will examine some very simple ways to improve our happiness. So success is feeding into happiness. But what happens to the failure? When we fail on certain things, we send a negative happiness, or sadness rather, and our happiness goes down. Yeah. Now this is one area where you guys can do a lot better through failure, because without failure success is not possible. Success exists because of the failure. If there is no failure in this world, we all will become very cocky, right? And we will become lazy. So success will disappear. What happened? Hello? Sagar? Sagar? Okay. Sorry, we sort of lost the network, or what happened, I don't know. Can you hear me all? Okay, good. So the failure actually creates or contributes towards success. Uh, Whenever there is a failure, okay, I'll give you an example of that. Uh, I had an accident many years ago, a car accident. Okay. Now I came out of the car accident. And thank God I wasn't hurt and nobody got hurt. Yeah, the car was written off. Now, I could be very unhappy because of this bad event happened. Okay, my car is broken. How would I go home? I lost money, all that. So this is how we react to a bad event or failure. Okay, rather I thought of myself. I said this accident. Okay, because I was speeding. Was I drunk? No, I wasn't. Yes, I was speeding a bit. And what else? I said, well, you know what? I was I was thinking of something else tomorrow morning. And while I was thinking about certain other thing, for the split of second, my attention went away from the road, you know, and uh, and I had the accident. So there was a learning from that event. So every failure, every bad things happen with you. Please go back and analyze that event and pick out the positive things. Believe me, it is hidden there. Regardless of what you think the situation is very bad. I'm in a bad situation. I don't have money. I'm under the lockdown. I have no food. Blah blah blah. But actually, put your mind to it, you will spot something good out of this situation, and just get hold of that good, if you like, the hooks, and just put those, attach your body to those positive things and ignore all the negativity out. And that will contribute your happiness rather than making you sad. So this red arrow will become green. Okay. Right. So next, right. So here I will talk about the uh, I will talk about what's happiness, can we measure it, and what does it look like, and how I can improve this level of happiness. One second, I'm having a bit of issue here. One second. What happened?
Excellent.
Play.
Because you look across that. There you go.
Okay. So happiness is our brainwave emotions. And yes, we can measure it. Okay. How we can measure it? It is the electroencephalograph. We call it EEG. And many neurologists and psychiatrists actually take the electroencephalograph of humans to see is there any sign of mental illness. You may have heard of the lie detection test. Yes, the lie detection test is also looking at those brain waves and analyzing the sign of stress when somebody is lying. So yes, happiness can be measured. And the following, this graph is actually taken from a live person under three circumstances. The same person uh, under calm, okay? So the wave on the top here, this wave here is recording the calmness of our mind. It's got a low frequency, very stable, and low power. So it's kind of a meditative state of mind, complete calm, where you do the window restart. We'll talk about that. So then the wave in the middle, you see the very erratic wave. And this erratic wave is showing that person is very angry. And when we calculate the power of these waves, I'm an electronics engineer, so I can calculate these power of these waves by putting through the Fourier transform. I won't bore you guys with the technical mumbo jumbo, but basically Fourier transform will give me many individual waves, and I can then measure the power of these waves using lambda is equal to h nu. So each wave carries a power of our brain. Okay, erratic, when we are in anger, actually this is the lowest power wave we can get. And then your high frequency, highest power is when you are happy. Okay, and the tests have been done to prove uh, what is actually happening. So the graph you see on the screen here, when we are angry, right, we have got our brain performance drops to 40%. Okay, when we are calm, it goes to 60% brain function. But if we are happy and smiling and laughing, our brain performance goes to 80%. Now, talking about the brain function, do you know how much brain you and me use on a daily basis? It varies from 10 to 15%. Okay. If I teach you a trick to utilize your brain more than 15%, and go and keep on increasing with time. Do you see that if you and me are using brain only 10-15%, maximum 20%, there is an untapped power of our brain, which is 80%, which we have not utilized. So in few minutes, I'm going to tell you how we increase this brain power, the utilization of brain. On the screen here, we are talking about when you are happy, our brain, our utilization brain, if we are utilizing only 15% of the brain, right? Only 80% of that is performing when we are happy. When we are angry, it is performing only 40%. So 40% of 10%, 4%, right? Uh, I want you to understand such a scientific evidence in front of us that happiness increases the performance of our brain. Okay, so we in order to increase our happiness and success, what we have learned is that we need to remain happy most of the time, and we will talk about how to increase our performance. And there are other things we can do to increase the utilization of the brain. Okay? Right. So let's talk about how we improve happiness. So the very first thing is that we need to find our happiness buttons. Okay? Now, these are not the buttons on your shirt. Okay? These are happiness buttons inside you. And what are those? You know. So, as I said earlier, that every person has a different idea of their happiness. Some people like some people become happy if they are serving the patients or serving the others. Some will be happy to have more money. Some will be happy to have a big house, beautiful sports cars, and so on, so on. Yeah. So you all need to define your goals and success criteria and happiness criteria. So how do I find out? Do I is your parents will tell you what are your happiness? Tell you no. I cannot tell you what your happiness buttons are. So how do we find those happiness buttons? Through meditation. Okay. Now I have done that many years ago. I sat down and I said, what is the purpose of my life? What actually makes me happy? Right? And one other thing which I learned early on after doing my degrees, that my happiness lies in employing people rather than being employed. If I'm employed by somebody, I'll be very unhappy. So I have to be employing people. So this is one of my happiness buttons. Okay. If that is your happiness button, then go for it, because you will find success and happiness in pursuing that goal. Happiness is a journey, it is an emotion, as we saw, it is an energy. Okay, so it actually makes me happy, keep on employing people. Okay, there is no uh, end result. I haven't defined that, I must have 20,000 people in the company, blah, blah, blah. No, that is not my happiness goal. My happiness goal is employing people. And as long as I'm employing people, even if five, that makes me happy on a constant basis. So find out that through meditation, you could have to have five happiness buttons. So it could be that, it could be a beautiful girlfriend or a wife or I don't know, a big house or a very good job. Perhaps you want to be the chancellor of Exchequer, and that will make you happy. But whatever that makes you happy, please do not doubt that you cannot achieve that. This is the worst thing you can do. Write down your happiness buttons, and without doubt, just go for it. Okay, so that is one thing. Now, the other thing, I talk about the meditation. it is a scientific fact now that these old philosophies of we having seven chakra of energy. We human beings are electrical beings, right? We are a very sophisticated robots with emotions, okay? But when we are thirsty, right, the hand goes and picks up the glass of water. What happens? The brain sends a signal to hand and the feet to go and pick up the glass, okay, and sip the water. There are millivolt electric signals are traveling through our nervous system, okay, to control the entire body and organs. Now these signals are traveling through thousands of miles of in our body, right? We have enough veins to go around the earth twice. Now, if the signal is traveling thousands of miles in our body, okay, the electrical signal gets weak due to resistance. So what nature has given us, the battery pack, the Wi-Fi booster, the signal boosters, one here and one behind our crouch, and then one here called solar plex, and one in between our chest bone, right? One at the heart, one at the throat, and one behind the eyebrow, between the eyebrow, and one at the top. We call it crown chakra. Now, do they exist? Yes, they do. And similar experiments have been done by putting the electrodes on these places and recording the nerve signals. And they have been proved that yes, these electricity packs, or the battery packs are there in the body in these places. So what happens when the root chakra energy is low? We feel low. We have lack of self-confidence. We cannot make decision. Shall I go for economics, or shall I go for arts? Shall I go for engineering? Shall I go for medical? Okay. Now these things happen when our chakras are imbalanced. Okay. So one simple thing I'll tell you, because this is a very big subject in its own right, to balance these chakras, okay, for increasing your happiness and success. If we can balance these chakras properly and we lift our energies from the root chakra to the brain, we have got power to become even God. Okay, and that also increases the power, the utilization power of our brain. If you remember Steve Jobs, okay, I'll give you this example. This is a live example. Well, he's not no longer live, but we know what happened. Steve Jobs lost his job from Apple. He went to India in a retreat and he meditated for many years. And then what happens? He came back to US with one single thought in his mind. He want to change the life of people, billions of people. That was a single thought. He came in and he then invented the Apple iPhone and Apple iPods and so on. And what happens? He changed billions of people's life by singular thought and following it through without any doubt. And now um, uh, we wouldn't have WhatsApp, we wouldn't have your Facebook or any of these apps without that sort of a smartphone touch and all that. So this meditation power can do wonders. Okay, so the time is running out, so so define your success criteria and goals. Now, I will share with you my personal experiences, how I get feeling of happiness every day, right? Being grateful to God every day that you come out of the shower, you stand in front of the mirror and say, "Thank God, I've got all the limbs. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I'm studying in Cambridge. I've got a good life." Okay, being grateful gives you happiness. Okay, help others. This is one single thing which will make you happy, regardless of who you help and how much you help. Help does not mean that you give money. Okay? Help means you might be just lifting somebody's luggage to help them in the train, out of train, or in your hostel. Okay? Try to find at least or one incident where you have helped others every day, and that will keep you happy. Okay, then other thing, discover positive side of each situation, which I talked about when I gave you example of the car accident. No matter what situation you are in, say you attended you gave an exam and you did not do very well in that paper. Okay, come back and promise yourself that never mind, that is good thing that I did not do well. I'm going to learn from it. I will find out which chapters, which part of the subject I'm very weak at, and I will take extra help from my professor. I'll sit down with so and so who is very clever in this area, and I will make it happen. So take from every bad situation, take positive out. It's like a squeeze the positive out of and enjoy doing effort. As I said, happiness is the feeling, a journey. Okay, enjoy doing it, right? If you are doing any DIY, then enjoy enjoy hanging up the TV on the wall, right? Enjoy cooking, enjoy your reading books. If you are sitting in a library, enjoy the library, the surrounding. Yeah, admire, coming back to being grateful, admire the books you are reading. Oh my God, this author has done so well. He has explained the subject very well. He has written uh, the chart and the graph. Um, Admire that person. Admire the book, how it is bound, how it feels. You know, employ your senses, all the senses. Okay. Now, as we talked about the balancing your chakra energy, one thing I want to tell you this, everybody can do that, okay? And it is very helpful, I found. So you put your fingers and the index finger and thumb together, okay? And sit down on the floor after taking shower in the morning, okay? Uh, like legs crossed if you can, and place this just above your crouch, and then close your eyes Pull your pull your spine straight, raise your chin slightly, and then create this sound la. If you do that even 11 times, if possible 21 times, if you can do that every day, you will start seeing the difference after 4 or 5 days. How you will see the difference? Because your mental capacity will increase, your focus will increase by doing that. Okay, so this is just one trick I want you to take with you. So there are many signs and techniques. This is another one where you place your fingers like this and just enchant. Oh, so this will increase your instinct, the sixth sense. Right. So we understand the mind and brain. Now, brain, we all know that there are many sections and fragments of the brain cortex, and each cortex is responsible for different things: analysis, mathematics, you're playing piano, emotions, etc. But as we discovered, as we were talking about, this cloud, which is called mind. Okay. Now, this is our mind, this energy cloud, and we call it aura as well. In English dictionary, if you look at the aura, so we can improve the utilization of our brain from 10-15% to 20%, 25%, right? So the Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, these sort of people, they were utilizing their brain to only 25 to 30%. Now, what that tells you, that we all have immense power, untapped power. Okay, so if we can learn how to improve the utilization of brain, we can do wonders. So what happens here? Look, remember the example of the drone I said to you, or when we are going for a job, uh, you have got a positive thought that I want to get this job, but at the same time, there is you have anxiety of not getting it and getting failure because you have failed the previous job interview with Goldman Sachs. So you are anxious about this JP Morgan job. Okay. Then you have the fear, right? Fear of, oh, if I don't get it, what my friends will think that, oh, this guy is a failure, he's a duffer, right? So that fear is that. Um, you may have a guilt. Uh, I'll give you an example of guilt. All these things actually are stopping, they work like a handbrake when you're driving a car. Okay, the feeling of guilt. So I'll give you one example. I was a child of 9, 10 year old, and I went to temple with my mom, and I picked up one coin from that donation plate to eat the ice cream. So I picked up the coin and I go and I ate the ice cream because my mom will not give me a coin to eat an ice cream. Right? As I grew older, that incident gave me a lot of guilt of picking up that money from that donation pot to eat the ice cream. Right? Now, we may have different guilds. Now, what these guilds are doing, they are creating this negative cloud around our head, and they are working like a sticky boot. And we want to move forward, but we are being pulled out by this glue of guilt. So we need to address that, and you need to say, okay, this is what happened in the past, and as long as I don't do it again, that's fine. Let's move on. Okay. So guilt plays a part. Then you have confidence. All these things affect your self-confidence. So we increase our self. I just now told you that energizing your chakras will boost your self-confidence because it raises the energy. Okay. Then those negative thoughts, I'm not going to get this job, right? Two different signals coming into the brain. One, the positive, go for it, and the negative, I'm not going to get it. So the brain thinks, okay, do I go this way? Do I go this way? Okay, I'll go this way because positive thoughts is slightly stronger than the negative thought. But the net effect is that your efforts are not getting as much push as it should be because the negative energies is being taken out from that push. So now these chakra energies, if you look at carefully on your left of the screen, this is the spectrum of the color. If you put a white light through the prism, right, we get the uh, same color, the purple on the top and the red at the below, right? And I've just talked about just the bottom chakra to energize. If the energies in these chakras are depleted, many things in our body and mind can go wrong, and many things can be fixed by fixing your chakras. Okay, so I will, because time is short, I won't go in too much details. Uh, we talked about that. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about the um, how we manifest our thoughts to achieve success and happiness. Okay, I gave you one example where I was visualizing that we need to expand our business overseas in Africa, and that happened through visualization, right? Not through the advertisement, not through too much efforts. Okay. The let's say I'll give you a very good example of how you can increase your success because as a result of this my talk today, I want you to learn to achieve happiness and success. Okay, so the one thing you can do is visualize. So for example, after you have done your degrees, you want to get a dream job. Okay, and that dream job could be I don't know, an investment banker. So you want to be investment banker in a good company. Then what you should do is at least once a day, whenever you get time, either in the morning or in the evening, sit down with this hand gesture. Okay, close your eyes and take 5 6 deep breathing. Okay, deep breathe, And if you can deep breathe for 5 minutes and then start visualizing that you have got this job, okay? You you have left for the job, you've taken the tube, you've come out of the tube, and now you've gone on the 8th floor of this building, and you're now sitting on this your cabin in front of the terminal. You're logging in. You're then going for making a coffee. You're having a meeting. Employ your five senses when you do the visualization. So, sense of touch, your sense of smell the coffee, smell the environment. You're tasting the coffee in the office, you're listening, your colleagues, your boss talking, uh, and you're touching a keyboard. Employ all the five senses in that visualization. If you do that every day, you are creating a, a communication which is going out from your brain to the mother universe, to the power of nature, and the right opportunities at the right time will be presented to you as they have been in my throughout my life. Okay, so that is one thing. Control your anxiety by finding the positive from your past events. Forgive the people, forgive those people who have hurt you in the past. Okay, so do good, help others, visualize, control your anxiety, visualize your dreams, and at the same time do little work to achieve that goal, to achieve that success. Okay. um, so there are this is a very big subject, and one more thing I would like to add here: mindfulness and awareness. Okay, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is where whatever you are doing, you are first thinking about it. You are taking a time to think how you could do better, analyzing the risk of what you are going to do, and limit your risk or mitigate those risks. Uh, think about that. So that is mindfulness. Now, awareness is where, let's say you are driving in a car, being aware that there is a very beautiful bird sitting on that particular tree on your left. Okay, there is a vehicle coming and from the back very fast. Being aware of the environment you are in. Okay, so that awareness you can increase by training your five senses. So one other thing I do is uh, practice silence for 12 hours in a day. You know, even if you can do once every week, that's enough. Now, what it does, when you close your mouth for 12 hours and you do not speak, your other four senses, they become more powerful. Yeah. Similarly, if you are right-handed, do certain things from left hand on that day. So do your shaving from left hand, right? Engage your left hand. What it will do, it distributes the power uh, in your brain. So again, utilizing the brain, every part of the brain you are able to utilize by switching your senses. So I talked about the leave the speech for 12 hours. The boss of Twitter, the guy who invented the Twitter, he does that. every week. So that then you basically uh, do not speak for one day, engage your left hand, right? And fasting, do a fasting for 16 hours. Okay, you might say, oh, it's too difficult, you can't do it. Yes, you can. Eat your dinner at 7 in the evening, right? And then don't eat anything until next day, 11. So that's a 16-hour break you are giving. So when we are fasting, we are increasing, and we are not eating anything. We are increasing the power of other senses. So I think the awareness and increasing the our sensory system enables us to tap into those areas of brain which have not been used for many years. Okay. Um, I think that is about it. I will just give you a very good, very sort of short, brief summary of my talk. So we talked about what is happiness, which we can see on the screen in terms of the electroencephalograph. What is the success? How you find your success buttons, and how we pursue those without doubt, with singular mind, controlling the anxiety by finding the positive from the event, forgiving the people who have done wrong to you in the past, and move on, because that is actually stopping you to progress. And we then looked at what is mind, how the thoughts are controlling the brain and the outcome of our success, uh, how the spirituality traits like meditation and balancing the chakras can contribute to your happiness and success. Um, so I'll hand over now to Hema for doing any to receive your questions. Thank you.
So thank you for such an insightful talk. I think your ideas about having a positive mindset and knowing your own success criterion are extremely important, particularly given today's environment. And I think it's quite a common misconception that success leads to happiness, but happiness feeding into success is a really uh, important cycle, which I think we can all learn from. So we will open it up to the Q&A now. And I think just to start off, I think it'd be really useful for everyone to hear a bit about your own background, coming from very humble beginnings. And what would you say are some of the key moments in your life, and how have you reached the position that you're in today?
I think the key moment in my life in the very beginning, when uh, I come from a very rich family, but I had a very tough upbringing. Okay, let's put it this way. And there is a saying, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. So I started becoming a very strong when I did my A levels. Okay, my A levels were done in Hindi. Okay, and everywhere I went for the exam, like IIT entrance exams were all in English. Okay, so if I've studied everything in Hindi, the physics, chemistry, math, and so on, it is a very tough thing to do. So I realized that you got to do effort, and you got to believe in yourself. Self belief, so it made me stronger. And then when I did my masters, at that point I decided to employ people. But obviously you can't employ people; you have to have your plan of action. So I joined a company, developed the software for 3.5 years, 4 years in Italy and Switzerland and Middle East. And then I decided to come here, and open my own company. And it was not easy. We had dot-com burst happen, and all my business went down the tube within a week. Okay, and I had to restart the whole thing, and we put a lot of research into the healthcare, and we invented many things in the healthcare. We then implemented solutions in the NHS, in 12 hospitals around the UK. And so it was hard success. But only it can happen only when you are focused and you've got resilience, you've got perseverance. Yeah. And for doing that, I needed all this visualization and meditation and the chakra balancing.
Okay, thank you. For anyone else in the in the call, if you'd like to submit questions, please just use the chat function. But another question I think is for people who've never meditated before, how should they go about starting doing that, and how can they implement that into their daily lives?
Okay, so one of the thing I do it, which is very simple, and I want to keep it simple so that you can do it in practice. Okay, every hour, maybe initially you put an alarm in your mobile phone. Yeah. So I'm sure when you are in the class, you can't do it. But if you are not in the lecture, you put a sort of an alarm every hour in your mobile phone. And when the alarm goes, no matter where you sitting there, you just sit down and stretch your spine straight. So let's say you are sitting on a chair. You just sit down and just do a deep breathing from your stomach as you count 4. Okay, so you deep breathe counting 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and fill your stomach, not your chest, and then hold for 2 seconds and then release it for 6. Okay, so do that for a minute. Repeat that cycle for a minute with closed eyes. That will bring a lot of performance within yourself, sense of happiness, and also it will improve your focus. Whatever you are studying, you will find that suddenly that 1 minute is actually so beneficial every hour. Just 1 minute, do it. And then you with as I said, you the what I like is 20 cycle of 20 deep breaths. So where you take like 4, 2, and 6, 4 inhaling, 2 hold, and 6 exhaling. Then you do 20 of these. Then you do 20 medium breath, which is 3, 1, 3. Do 20 sets of that, and then 20 you do the fast, which is 101. So fast is like this. Yeah, and then repeat that 5 times, the whole cycle, 20, 20, 20. Repeat that 5 times. What it does to you is like, when you open too many windows on your laptop or PC. So you opened your Word, Microsoft Excel, your PowerPoint, your PDF, and many other URLs. The whole thing will come to a jam when you peak the memory, right? And then things will run very slowly. Your mouse goes like this. Yeah. And what do? You restart your computer. So this process I've given you, 20, 20, 20, set of 5, it will restart your brain. So after you've done that, you will find the feeling of zero and bliss, where your brain is shutting down completely. And we are doing the MRI scans. Part of my other this research into it, where we are taking the MRI scans and the nerves reading what's happening when you are going into deep meditation. And it's quite clear that the brain flashes reduces when you can enter into the meditation. And what is also doing that when you come out of the meditation, it increases your brain power. So you can do sums very quickly, much more quickly than before. So this we are recording and we are doing a scientific research where we are measuring this performance.
Okay, thank you. We have an interesting question here from Rahul. Do you believe in luck?
Yes, I do. Uh, as I said in my first slide, if I can pull the slide back, uh, this stored karmic energy I talked about, that stored karmic energy is luck. It is the fate. Yeah, it is the destiny, which is not in our control directly. Indirectly, it is. So if we start doing bad karmas, okay, then that bad karma will eventually will caught upon us and it will create bad luck. Okay, if we are doing good karma, then eventually it will create good luck. So you may have seen that uh, some guy has just won the lottery. He was a taxi driver, right? Or somebody who was working in a factory. He has won was 115 million lottery jackpot. Now that is luck, right? And how do you describe that sort of winning um, without this? There is no effect without cause, and this is something which the time doesn't permit me right now, but we talked about this Sir Isaac Newton, the way he proved the gravitational force of apple dropping on the floor, right? He said apple dropping on the floor is an effect. What is the cause? Because it will not happen without a cause. Similarly, he winning the lottery and not anybody else is a cause, it is an effect, right? What is the cause? There must be a cause, right? And the cause is not just buying the lottery, because if that was the case, then everybody should have won the lottery. But that is not the case. Only one person has won the lottery. So that cause is this karmic energy storage, which we call it luck. But eventually it is in our hand to create our own luck. We say that your own luck. You keep on doing good deeds. As I said, keep on helping others every day, right? It will keep you happy. And you are also creating your luck.
Okay. We have a question from Nishant about how do you manage the pressure from other people who are trying to influence your actions, and how would you go about defining your own happiness when you have external pressures that are trying to influence you?
Right, that's a very good question. Okay, I'll tell you my own example here. Okay, in my family, there is not a single doctor. Okay, in my life, three generations. So my parents and my more than my parents, my grandfather wanted me to be a doctor because there is no doctor. So I was under severe pressure, even when I was doing my GCSE, to choose biology. Okay, I was too young at that time to sort of not obey their choice of subject. So I had to take the bloody biology, right? And I hated that subject. Okay, I hated that subject. In fact, I failed in that subject, and later on I passed that subject. So when it came to A level, uh, this was the same thing, that you want to be a doctor. External pressure put upon me to go that way. But if you are connected with within yourself, this is something very important you guys to understand, that the self-confidence and self-belief, if you have self-confidence and self-belief, then all the other external pressures and factors will not be visible to you at all, will not be felt by you, right? Because your senses will refuse to pass the electrical signal of those pressures. Yeah, we'll say, what is that? I didn't see anything. Did he say that? No. Oh, okay, right. I don't know. You wanted to become me to be a doctor. I didn't hear that. What did he say? No. Okay. It is building your self confidence within you. That is the key. By doing the meditation and doing this 1 minute practice every 1 minute, just every 1 hour, 1 minute practice, it will give you that connectivity to your electrical self. And when you do that, you become so empowered within yourself that these factors will not be visible or will not be felt by you at all. So, I managed doing that. And then later on in the life, when I did my master's, there was another pressure for me to join the civil service. I got into civil service. I had 12th rank on the merit, but I refused to join the civil service because I knew that my happiness is in employing people. And the other happiness was that I wanted to leave my country, unfortunately. So anyway, these were two of my happiness buttons, and nothing mattered. I in fact joined a job which was paying me 1/5 of what would I be paid if I joined the civil service. So I tell you, all you guys, that it does not matter whether the job is paying you less or more. Yeah, don't go and join a job which is paying you double the salary if that job does not it does not fit into your happiness button. Do not do that mistake, because you know what, you will get stuck. You might think that you've done a wonderful job, you've done better than everybody else, you've taken that job which is paying you double, but if it is not making you happy, you will not be successful. Okay.
Sandeep in India asked, do you believe that there is saturation to success?
It depends on what what is the success. Okay. This is our own creation, our own definition. So let's say if Sandeep has decided that his success is to get a $10 million house in Malibu and have $1 million or $2 million Bugatti, and that is his measurement of the success. And if he achieves that, then what? I tell you what, even if Sandeep achieves that, the criteria of success, you know what will happen? He will get, this is the human psychology, yeah? he will get even more, he will refine his definition of success, and he will say, right, I've achieved that, but you know what will make me happy? If I buy the Trump Tower, that will make me happy. So, the greed will keep on going up and up and up. To me, my definition of success is, am I achieving happiness on everyday basis? As long as I'm being happy every day, I am constantly successful. Whether I achieve what I wanted to achieve, it doesn't matter. To me, success is right. So I've employed people, I'm employing people. That is making me successful in my view. But I'm constantly being successful and happy. So the success criteria is very much linked to the happiness. If it doesn't make you happy, are you successful despite of all the money? The top drug dealer in Mexico, right? He could probably be as rich as Amazon boss Jeff Bezos, okay? But is he successful? Is he happy? He's got the same money, maybe more. Who knows? No, he's not happy. Internally, he won't be happy because he is living in the fear. When I'll be caught, somebody will kill me, this will happen, what will happen to my money? All the time that worrying, is it happiness? No, it's not. So I think uh, there is no limit of success. There is no limit of happiness. As long as you are very clear that your success is giving you happiness in the return. Otherwise, not. Stop.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question. So, in terms of spirituality, we can use the analogy of like an ocean having calm waves, and are we able to see what's beneath those waves? And so we should be calm to reflect. So earlier you talked about calmness being at a lower power. Do you think it's possible to be at a higher level of power, but still have stable and calm waves?
So what you're saying, okay, so the calmness is not the lowest power, it is the lower power. Yes, true. Uh, Let me just bring that slide here. Uh, this one. Okay, so uh, uh, this state of mind where you are calm, right? This is the state of mind we achieve when we are under meditation. So if you look at this curve, this graph, by the way, this is actual recording from an individual. Yeah. So as the mind goes in the calm state, can you see the rather than the wave going to, it is tapering off in a very sort of straight line curve without going up and down. Okay, now that is the state of mind where if I put the MRI scan and you look at the brain slices, these brain slices will show less and less flashing in your brain. Okay, now what we have seen as part of the experiment we are doing, that as you enter the meditative state of calmness, your flashes in the MRI are reducing. the flashes are reducing, okay? And your cognitive power, right? So I'm now using some medical terms here. The cognitive power has increased as you come out of that calmic state of mind. Okay, so when you come out and become normal, one of the simple tests we are doing is randomly we are taking volunteers and they come in. We say, okay, we hook you up from the EEG and put them in the MRI scan, and then say, okay, can you do a very quick number? 5 times 3 take away 4. How much is that? Right? And we record that millisecond they have taken to come up with that answer. Okay. Now we also look at the MRI scan during that time, the brain flashing. Now brain is flashing, the analytical portion of the cortex is flashing, but the emotional part is also flashing. Why the emotional part is flashing? Because this person has got a fear of getting it wrong. So that is flashing. That's very interesting. So now we say, okay, do the breathing exercise and enter the peace and calm and quiet. Concentrate your mind to your breathing. Breathing is the only thing which you cannot do in the past, you cannot do in the future, right? It has to be done right now. So you concentrate on your breathing. Now what we are seeing that as the person goes towards that 1 minute, which you can see on the timeline in the bottom of the graph, as the time goes by, the brain flashes start reducing. Okay, and then when this person comes out of the when we ask them to open the eyes and we give them similar number, we say, okay, can you do 4 times 6 take away 3, and then we record the time taken to do that calculation, much reduced. There is 40% reduction in the time factor, 40%. And the other thing, the emotional part of the brain is not flashing that much. Analytical part is flashing more. Now that scientific research conclusively shows that we need to spend some time in our calmness, in the meditative state, to increase our focus and cognitive brain power. Okay, and this is being consistent with many volunteers we have seen. This is a same pattern that this graph you see here, 40-80%. You know, when they come out, they are more happy. That's one thing. So their cognitive power has increased suddenly. So to increase your performance, your study performance, and your exam performance, your job performance, I would strongly advise that if you can even take this simple thing, 1 minute breathing, close your eyes every hour, you see the performance going through the roof.
So thank you for answering those questions. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. But if there are any other pressing questions, do email me, and I can forward them on. But thank you again for sharing all of your thoughts and insights. And I think that they're really useful and things that all of us can learn from. And thank you everyone else for coming, and hopefully that you found this useful. Please do watch the Cambridge English Society Facebook, and we'll hopefully be hosting some more talks in the near future. But yes, thank you again, and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you for attending this talk, and I hope you find it useful. At least even take just one simple thing I talked about, and success and happiness. And thank you all once again, and thank you, Hemant and Rohan. Sorry, forgot your name. To organize this meeting or this talk. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you so much. It's really interesting.
Thank you.